Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Keeneland Racecourse here on Sunday. It is the 16th of April 2023. Going to look at the stakes races on the program from Keeneland, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it around the world. Let's look at the stakes action, races 7 and 8 from Keeneland. 7th race, we're going to the lawn. It is the Palisades Stakes. It's going for a $250,000 purse. Race for 3-year-olds here. We have a field of 13 horses entered, but only 12 could go to the Keeneland Turf Course. The distance of ground here of 1,100 meters, or the distance of ground of 5.5 furlongs on the Keeneland Turf Course. 1,100 meters, 5.5 furlongs. The portable rails are up at 20 feet. My top selection, I'm going to go with the number 6 horse here, Private Creed. Let's go 6-8-7-5 in the superfecta. 6-8-7-5 super, top selection 6 horse, Private Creed. This 3-year-old colt by Jimmy Creed. Steve Asmussen trains. Joel Rosario gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 18th of February at the fairgrounds. Mile and the 8th in the Risen Star Stakes. First time dirt. Wasn't a recipe for success. He finished 12th by 29.25 lengths that day. He had a very wide poster, breaking 14 of 14. He was wide throughout. It just wasn't staying the trip. Refreshing to a turf sprint that he's proven he can run with on a turf course that he likes. He's in a better spot to win with the class relief, and his buyer's up to scratch to run a good race here today. Throw that race out. Just put it never happened. 2 back in the Sam Houston at Sam Houston on soft ground, 1 mile 20th of January in the Texas Turf Mile, and the horse finished second by a head that day, and he just kind of stalked that day. He just couldn't keep up late. The winner had the jump on him. He ran his heart out, but I just don't think he wanted to go the trip that day. And then prior to that, in the Breeze Cup Juveniles Turf Sprint here at Keeneland, 5.5, 4th in November, he finished 3rd by 1/4 lengths and closed up from nowhere. A little bit of a tough trip, but he ran his heart out that day at 10-1. And then the Indian Summer Stakes here at Keeneland in the fall, 5.5 on the turf course, was a success. Winning by 3/4 of a length that day. He had a very wide poster, was wide throughout, but when he had the turn of foot, he got a very easy race there. And then at Kentucky Downs in the Juvenile Turf Sprint, winning by 3/4 length from a tracking trip, he won nicely. A decent 3rd in the Skidmore before that, Saratoga, and broke the main at Ellis again very, very easily. Training well Churchill, getting Rosario up, who's the best finishing rider in the country, I think. Use this horse on your ticket. I think the 8 horse No Nay Hudson for Wesley Ward and John Velasquez, your second likeliest winner, hasn't been seen since the Atlantic Beach at Aqueduct, 6 furlongs on the 5th of November, where he finished second by 1/4 lengths. He just couldn't get the good turn of foot. The winner, really had the jump on him, but this horse, he didn't go down without a fight, earning an 82 career best buyer that day. Before then, the Indian Summer, he had finished 3rd by 3.25 lengths that day, where he's wide and was drifting late. I thought he just, set a little bit too fast for actions that day. 21-3 to the first quarter. Just a little bit too flying for my liking. But then had a decent second before then, the Skidmore, where he just kind of got caught late off the bench. And then in the Tremont, lost all chance at the beginning where he got bumped. But if they send the horse today, I think that's going to be good. Turf course has been playing towards front runners, I've noticed a little bit lately. I'm going to use this horse on the ticket. But to recap my selection for the 7 from Keeneland now, it is the Palisades. Going to take the 6 horse Private Creed. Give kudos to the 8 horse No Nay Hudson. 6-8-7-5 super. 6-8 in your multi race. Let's get to the 8th race now from Keeneland. What is the Beaumont Stakes? It's a grade 2 event going for a $400,000 purse. Race for 3-year-old fillies. 7 horses are going to the main track. The distance of ground of about 1,400 meters, or the distance of ground of about 7 furlongs on the Keeneland main track. About 1,400 meters, about 7 furlongs, or 7 furlongs and 184 feet, I believe. I think that's the exact distance. My top selection, I'm going to go with the 7 horse Key of Life. Let's go 7-4-6-3 in the superfecta. 7-4-6-3 super, top selection 7 horse Key of Life. This 3-year-old filly by Motown. Brad Cox trains. Flavian Pratt gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came 25th of March at Oaklawn. 6 furlongs in the Purple Martin Stakes, and the horse won by 3.25 lengths that day, and basically put on a show. Out of the gate, broke on top, didn't look back, set some great fractions, quickened up nicely, coming home with a 91 buyer in victory. That was a very good, easy paid workout. 109.4 for the final 3 quarters. Going the extra furlong and some today shouldn't be a problem. I think she's sitting on a very good race here today. 2 back at Oaklawn on the mud, seal going 6 furlongs 11th February in the Dixie Belle. Off the bench, finished 3rd by 2 lengths that day, and she just kind of stalked. She couldn't get the good turn of foot. I do think she needed the race there. Keep in mind, she was a next star winner a couple days, 2 weeks later, so that was kind of cool. And then prior to that, she ran in the Ferns Creek at Churchill, 6.5 furlongs, 26th November. She finished third by 1.25 lengths that day. She had a very troubled trip around the far turn where she studied quite a few times, which cost her. It wasn't her day to win, but keep in mind, 1 and 2 out of that race were next start winners. She was a next start winner too after that. And then the Myrtlewood here at Keeneland in the fall, 6 furlongs, 20th of October. Winning by 6.25, basically on the front end throughout. Could have probably won by more, but they geared her down. A very, very good race there. And then on the 7th of October here, Keeneland, 6 furlongs, optional 100 claimer, winning by 6.25 lengths. Again, a very good, easy, clear victory. So likes this track, training well at Oaklawn over the winter. I'm going to give this horse a shot on the ticket. I think the 4 horse here, Interpolate, is your second likeliest winner. Won the Ruthless quite nicely in early February over the 7-up Aqueduct, coming home with a 77 buyer very, very nicely that day from track and trip. Before then, the Parks Juvenile on the slop, the horse just never was really comfortable that day, never broke on top. I think the slop had something to do with that, but then broke the main to Aqueduct in the fall quite nicely. Has a good tracking trip. If the speed's gonna melt down, it wouldn't surprise me if this horse picks up pieces. At 9-2, we'll use her in the multis. But to recap my selection for the 8th now from Keeneland, it is the Beaumont. Let's take the 7 horse Key of Life. Give kudos to the 4 horse 7463 Super 7-4 in your multi race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.